All right, ladies and gentlemen, last reaction for today. It's time to get started with Jujutsu Kaisen and see where we end up after Kenjaku basically just burst in above the star corridor and is currently about to face off against Choso. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get the formality I can't even speak because it's been a busy morning. Let's get the formalities out of the way, shall we? Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to... Wait. Did I not... Wow, that's the reason why it's auto-adjusting. I forgot to configure my camera this whole time. So I was getting in and out of focus. My apologies, everybody. But yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another Jujutsu Kaisen chapter reaction and review. Last we left off, we got explained that Yuki Tsukumo was actually... formerly going to be one of the Star Plasma vessels for Tengen, but it didn't happen. And then after Riko Amanai, after she was meant to be the next Star Plasma vessel for Tengen, she was killed during the events of Gojo's backstory. And then Tengen was left to, kind of ferment and evolve over the course of, several years, like a whole bunch of years. And then he's talking about how dangerous it would be if he were to evolve with combination and connect to all of humanity. It could literally spend the end of the world. And then Kenjaku comes up and shows up in front of Choso saying, well, I just want to see what happens. He says, I'm doing all of this, but I'm just really curious about what happens, which is a very, very nonchalant way of saying, he's trying to make it seem like he's just doing it just because it seems fun. But he's also saying, when people get turned into, cursed spirits and everything, they can all, if they were all to combine and join with Tengen, because he's basically a cursed spirit at this point himself. So if all these people were to become combined with Tengen, just imagine the cursed spirit that they would make. It would be unlike anything ever seen before. And this is more than enough reason. For Choso to be all right, it's time to fight you. So now we get to see what happens next. So... oh boy, there's just so much about Jujutsu that's going on, and we haven't even gotten back to the culling game yet. But onwards to chapter 203, Blood and Oil Part 2. And then Choso says, while he's in the room with Tengen and Yuki, this is before Kenjaku showed up, "Let me do it alone. You'll die if you do." "Then would you fight against Noritoshi Kamo 2 against 1 with me?" And then she's silent. I'd be in the way, right? So I'll go first and draw out his cursed spirits and get him to reveal information on his cursed techniques. So this was their strategy from the get-go. If I can get him to open his domain. I'll say it again. You'll die. Then Kenjaku will have difficulty using cursed techniques. That's when I strike. Exactly. If we kill him, I don't care. For me and my brothers and the curse that birthed half our bodies. And also... And as it shows the curse, blood manipulation piercing... The curse manipulation piercing blood, it shows it directly in front of... Kenjaku's face. Literally in front of his face, and he just nonchalantly dodges out of the way as a cursed spirit starts to loop around the cursed blood and try to make its way towards him. And then Choso cuts it off, and with that blood, he pretty much erupts the entire area where Kenjaku and that cursed spirit are, with Kenjaku just casually riding on top of one of the shards and throwing it at Choso as he goes, "You underestimated me." "Did I?" And as he's throwing it, cursed spirits are right behind this stone as they are prepared to envelop and surround Choso. And then it shows Choso throwing a bit of blood in front of these cursed spirits, and he goes, "Supernova." And the whole area where these cursed spirits are just implodes, with Kenjaku running up to Choso real fast and grabbing him by the arm and proceeding to punch him in the face. And as Choso jumps back, Kenjaku zooms in towards him, but doesn't notice that there's a little bit of blood floating right next to him, which then explodes where Kenjaku is. And then Choso says, "Tell me, what do you want from Yuji? You have something else in mind, unlike us who you've neglected for 150 years. What are you plotting?" Actually, he doesn't have a specific role. You could say being a vessel is his role, and that's already in place. Yuji Itadori is like a fire signaling the start. As long as he and Sukuna are alive, the chain of curses will never end. He's the eye of the storm of a new age. And then it shows Choso trying to use piercing blood on Kenjaku again, but he just nonchalantly dodges out of the way, because looking bored, like, oh, you use that again? And it shows the gaping hole left behind in a tree that was directly next to Kenjaku. Just bored a hole straight through the tree. As long as Yuji is alive. No, as long as you're alive, Noritoshi Kamo. You're the root of all unhappiness. In no way is it Yuji! And as he gets, irate because of this, his leg gets grabbed by centipede cursed spirits that were hiding under the place he's standing on. Cursed spirits from underneath me? I know you're just feeling me out. And it shows Kenjaku coming in and decking Choso directly in the face. You want me to reveal my curse techniques to Yuki Tsukumo. I've only been manipulating low-level cursed spirits, but perhaps even that is unnecessary. Because you're all failed creations. And it shows Kenjaku just beating up on Choso and then slamming his foot directly on his face. What do you know about my little brothers? Ah, did I offend you? I had high expectations, so I'm greatly disappointed. Be happy you got me to say that much. And then Choso grabs Kenjaku by the leg, and Kenjaku glares at him, and then Choso looks as he's being sent flying by something massive away from him, like in response to being touched. Kenjaku was all like, "How dare you touch me?" And then Choso gets launched by a massive, what appears to be like a massive Uzumaki. Do you know what the rank special grade signifies? And it's an amalgamation of centipedes that are just constantly hitting Choso so much that it actually tears his upper torso, like it tears his clothes and his upper torso. Do you know what the rank special grade signifies? The ability to single-handedly overthrow nations. Satoru Gojo and Sugeru Geto both can use curse manipulation to wield the most grotesque armies. Even dust can pile up in a mountain. If I use my cursed energy to strengthen low-level cursed spirits and command a swarm, I can reduce a first-grade sorcerer like you to this state. And then it cuts to Tengen. Yuki Tsukumo. And then Yuki goes, "No, not yet." And then it cuts to Choso as he goes, "I have failed as a big brother. I needed to protect my little brothers and be dependable to serve as an example. That's what a big brother does." And then he thinks back to Kenjaku's words when he said the only reason why he's doing this because it just sounds fun. And he goes, "Not fun. I couldn't even land one hit against my creep of a father. But I won't let him say that my brothers aren't interesting. That's why." And then it shows like an explosion of blood that happens where Choso is, as he thinks of Esu and Chorizo and Yuji. That's why. Younger brothers of the death painting wounds. Lend me your strength. Fire! As it looks like Choso's about to do some sort of suicidal attack of some reason. Like this is his final move, his final trump card. Sorry, Kenzo was getting too loud. But that's the end of the chapter as he says, "Fire!" As his whole body gets, like, his eyes go white, and he just... I don't know what it means by younger brothers of the death painting wounds fire. Is this like some sort of endgame move for him? Because this whole chapter is him just facing off against Kenjaku, as Kenjaku is just being nonchalant about what purpose he has for Yuji. He just tells him, like, his purpose as a vessel is already being fulfilled. As long as he and Yuji are alive, the cycle of curses will never end, which means that the chain of curses will never end. He's the eye of the storm of a new age. And it's like, Kenjaku really likes using words that sound like something but don't mean anything, but actually do mean something, but in a different context. He likes using those types of words. So there's a specific purpose for Yuji being the vessel of Sukuna. Not just him being a vessel for Sukuna, but he has a grander purpose. But Kenjaku ain't dropping any. Kenjaku ain't dropping any of that knowledge. Because he's smart. He's not about to reveal anything that could be used as a crux against him. So that's the reason why he's not using any of his more advanced techniques, and that's the reason why he's not revealing any more information, and this is what Yuki Tsukumo is really waiting on. Really waiting on him to slip up so that they have a way of actually beating Kenjaku. And that's pretty much what this chapter was. Just a fight between Kenjaku and Choso, all while Kenjaku is ridiculing both basically the death painting wounds. Death painting wounds, which is basically what Kenjaku created in the past. Well, Noritoshi Kamo created it in the past, but this is really Kenjaku, but Choso acknowledges him as Noritoshi Kamo. And the death painting wounds that were all created, and it's like, it's a fight between father and son when you think about it. But, you know, in a very weird curse technique type of way. And it's just a fight between them, which is incredibly one-sided because Kenjaku is just strong. He's like the Madara Uchiha of Jujutsu Kaisen in a way that if you're regular, you're not going to be able to lay a finger on him. Even Choso, who's a strong death painting wound, is not able to land even a single hit on him. Even his piercing blood and supernova do absolutely nothing with them, because when he tried to use the supernova again on him, Kenjaku shielded himself with a cursed spirit. So it's like, this dude is on a whole nother level, and Choso basically stood no chance in the beginning of this fight. But it remains to be seen if him calling on his brothers is really going to give him the edge he needs to at least get some leg up on Kenjaku. Now, mind you, he was able to actually grab him by the leg, but that prompted a response of him being repelled by low-level cursed spirits that he also beefed up, that Kenjaku beefed up with his own cursed energy to make them even more powerful, and that is why Choso is currently in a very scratched up, messed up state right now. But it remains to be seen what technique Choso is about to use on Kenjaku next. We're just going to have to see, because we're still in the area above the Star Corridor where Tengen and Yuki Tsukumo are. If Kenjaku gets access to Tengen and gains control of him, it's going to be a bad day for everybody. But like I said, we're going to have to wait and see where this fight goes. I know this isn't going to be as long as me talking as it did in the previous streams that I've done today, or even my previous Jujutsu Kaisen. I just wanted to really go over these notes. There's not much else I can really say about this chapter other than the fact that this was a Kenjaku versus Choso fight, and it was one-sided in favor of Kenjaku at the moment, but it looks like Choso still has like a trump card, like a hidden trick in his sleeve that he is yet to reveal. This doesn't look good for Choso. I mean, Yuki did say at the beginning that you'll die, because she knows how strong Kenjaku is. She knows how strong Geto is. She knows how strong. And this does not bode well for Choso, given how strong he actually Kenjaku actually is right now. I mean, he wasn't able to do anything to him during this entire fight. He only managed to grab onto his ankle, but that prompted him getting repelled by a bunch of cursed spirits that just continued to barrage him in response to, like, how dare you touch me? That's basically what it is. That's basically what happened. So yeah, this does not necessarily look good for Choso. But we're going to have to see in the next chapter, Ogata-san. We're just going to have to see. All in all, I did enjoy this chapter. I always love the fights in Jujutsu Kaisen, but overall, I enjoyed this. And now that I'm done with my reactions for Sunday, I'm going to rest a little bit before I get myself something to eat because I'm hungry. I am hungry. I am really hungry. I need to get myself a big sandwich. I'm working out, but this helps keep the protein in. So a big sandwich while I work out, yeah, I'll get one of those. But overall, I enjoyed this chapter, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Not much else I can say about today's chapter, or to any of you, except hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, and maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples. I'm so excited. Eat, rest, and adjust to daylight savings. Yeah, I gotta really adjust to it. Not only that, but I gotta mentally prepare myself for Sonic on Tuesday and God of War on Wednesday. It's gonna be a very busy week for you, boy. But I'm done. Later, everybody. Later, peoples.